This roof's getting installed with our premium roofing system. Backed by our 50-year warranty. And there's a 0% financing, no payment for 6 months options that this customer utilized. If you're looking for a new roof and you need an affordable option, call Absolute Restoration.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. You have finally made it through another work week here in North Mississippi. It's been some long ones, especially here for me. Got some more long ones coming up, but we have finally made it to the weekend, and we are at basically my favorite broadcast where we talk about both football and weather. So we have an action-packed broadcast coming up and also technically an action-packed weekend here in North Mississippi as well. So we're going to be covering all the bases here. I know, using baseball terms, even though we're talking about football, it's going to be a good weekend here in North Mississippi. But speaking of, Gabe is covering your game of the week out there live in Vardaman, Calhoun City, going to face them. Should be a good game out there tonight. Gabe's got all the stats and latest things that we need to know, especially with the weather and current conditions out there as well. But we will have a soggy weekend ahead. Keyword weekend. It's not a soggy Saturday ahead, soggy Sunday. Looking at rain for both your Saturday and Sunday. So definitely going to be perhaps a rainy, lazy Sunday that we can finally get here and enjoy in North Mississippi. So should be a good weekend ahead on that front. But speaking of, it's the last weekend of October. So I got to give you the latest with that pumpkin patch forecast, especially with this rain that we're going to be getting. I'll be tracking out those rain chances and when the best time to go to that pumpkin patch later on this weekend coming up throughout the rest of the broadcast. But let's start off with the first 12. Let's focus on this evening. We're starting off temperatures around 68 degrees by 6 o'clock. Beautiful football weather. We have pretty much cloudy skies, and that temp going to continue declining as we head into the evening hours, eventually overnight, seeing mid-50s by midnight, and then pretty much making the lowest around low 50s around 6 o'clock, around 52 degrees. So should be a beautiful evening all around. Like I mentioned, meteorologist Gabe Maynor out there right now. He was wearing short sleeves or long sleeves earlier. I see you have the short sleeves out right now.
It's a mixture of both, Caleb. Depending on, if you're thick-skinned or thin-skinned, you can get away with some short sleeves at the start. But by the end of the game, with how temperatures are cooling, definitely need the long sleeves on standby. My sweatshirt right at my feet. So I have come prepared for both types of weather. But right now, dry conditions, and that's what we want to emphasize. Today is a beautiful day, despite that cloud cover building into the area. We are live here in Vardaman for our game of the week as Calhoun City is coming to town and hoping to take down the Rams. But the Rams, they have that home stand. They have that going for them. But record-wise, not exactly even. Vardaman having 2 wins so far this season, and Calhoun City only 1 loss. So you can see how the odds are stacked against them. But when it comes to Friday night, both teams 0-0 and looking to pull away, going 1-0. And that's what we're excited to experience here tonight. The Vardaman Magic is in the area. It is going to be the final game of their season here in Vardaman. So the Rams looking to end the season here at home with a win. But weather-wise, you can see it behind me. Partly cloudy, getting some peaks of that blue. That is going to make for a beautiful forecast. But yeah, make sure to have the long sleeves on standby. Even this little bit of a breeze that we're getting makes it feel that much cooler. So Caleb, I'm not going to lie, next live shot, you might see me in some long sleeves, but we'll see. We'll see. It's kind of a mixture of both. But it is going to be a fun time here in Vardaman. We'll talk more stats coming up here on Mississippi Live Weather at 5. But for now, live from our game of the week in Vardaman, meteorologist Gabe Maynor with Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, big thanks to meteorologist Gabe Maynor. I mean, these are dry conditions, and thankfully we're going to be enjoying those all evening long because those football games, definitely don't want to put a dampen on them with those rainy conditions. We are seeing dry conditions. Show some rain trying to move in around the Memphis area, just south of there. Still expecting dry conditions up there. That radar site's a little bit too high in the atmosphere. I don't think it's making it to the surface. So we are seeing dry conditions all evening long. But what we have been talking about a little bit as we get closer towards the weekend is that basically severe weather risk. I know we talked a lot about it last weekend with that coverage. Thankfully, we're not expecting much severe weather here in North Mississippi, but notice we do have that level 2 slight risk back, kind of clipping the most southern part of our state, just south of Jackson, getting closer towards Alexandria, Baton Rouge out there in Louisiana. It was just a level 1 risk last night when Gabe was giving his broadcast. Now it's been extended to a level 2. So that weather that we're going to start seeing come through Saturday and Sunday, starting to get a little bit more severe down there in the southern parts of our state. So definitely something that we want to continue to update y'all, especially for anyone traveling or any weekend plans down there as we continue into your Saturday and Sunday. But let's track that all out. We'll even zoom out just a little bit, just just so we can see kind of what's going on around our area. Right now, North Mississippi, absolutely nothing, and that is what we love to see here as we continue into the evening. We're going to see that cloud cover start to build up just a little bit, but that's that frontal system that's going to cause all our rain. It is still far out in Texas right now, pretty much going over Dallas by the time we are going into our 10 o'clock broadcast time. That warm front is going to continue moving closer and closer towards Mississippi. That's going to give us some of those showers into our Saturday evening and those later hours. Not really expecting a long rainy day for our Saturday. Those rain chances holding off until the evening. So any outdoor plans, definitely want to push them further up into your Saturday itinerary. We're still seeing those dry conditions by Saturday at 9 o'clock, but that front getting a little bit closer and closer, pretty much along the Texas-Louisiana state border. And you can tell it is definitely getting closer towards North Mississippi. So it's something that we're going to continue tracking out as we continue into the weekend ahead. But look at the next 24, we're still seeing dry conditions on the front end, starting off around 52 degrees by 6 o'clock, warming on up towards the mid-70s by lunchtime. Then we start seeing some slight chances of rain into the afternoon hours. They'll start crossing into the delta. Not all of us are going to see those rain chances that early, but as we continue into the overnight hours, those rain chances will increase as well. But thankfully, most of our Saturday is looking dry. It's not until the evening hours where we really start to see that rain really start to push into North Mississippi. But we keep talking about these rain chances, how to plan out your weekend. We're going to be covering up all those rain chances coming up here in 1 minute.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
Harvey's Curbside to Go means you can experience quality anywhere. Call in and pick it up on your way home without leaving your car. No cooking, no cleaning, just dinner. Harvey's, a difference you can taste.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 5, or welcome back, I should say. Taking a look at your high school game of the week presented by Casey Lott. We are thankfully seeing dry conditions all game long, starting off around 68 degrees, cooling on off, seeing low 60s by halftime, eventually upper 50s, so might be a little chillier by the time you finish up that game, wrap it up as you head home this evening. But we have the game out in Vardaman, the Rams hosting the Wildcats. Gabe has the latest.
Yeah, Caleb, our Mississippi Live Weather Game of the Week is here in Vardaman tonight as Calhoun City Wildcats coming to town to try and take down the Rams. Now, currently records sit at 6-1 for Calhoun City and 2-6 for Vardaman Rams. So as you can see, there is a heavy favorite tonight. But the thing going for the Rams is last time there was a home game here, they won. So that home field advantage definitely a real thing. And with this being a district game, it just means that much more. But we are live here in Vardaman. You can see the Ram behind me. Exciting time out here in Vardaman. Not anyone here just yet. They are setting up the concession stands back there behind me, but home fans already setting up their seats as well. So this is going to be a fun night for the Rams. Last home game of the season, so wanting to end on a high note, if it means playoffs or not. They're just excited to get another game here in the home field in Rams Stadium. I do want to say, let's go ahead and talk weather for just 1 second, because what we're seeing right now is a very cool atmosphere phenomena, if you say. So what this is, way high up in the sky, is actually altocumulus clouds. And altocumulus clouds basically mean there's a shift in the weather pattern, meaning a front or something of that nature that is changing from those blue skies all the way into those rainier conditions. I mean, hey, we've been hearing the story. Rain is in the forecast, and that's going to be happening this weekend, but the skies even agreeing with the meteorologist here at Mississippi Live Weather on that forecast. So, Caleb, I know you're tracking rain coming up, but before we get to you, we do have our Will Kohlmeyer tracking not just the game here in Vardaman as they take on Calhoun City, but games all across North Mississippi. Will, what you got?
Thanks, and welcome to Kohlmeyer's Corner. Of course, Friday, 5 o'clock, we're talking high school football. And Of course, our game of the week, they're at Vardaman, Calhoun City, #1 ranked team in the state in 1A, taking on Vardaman. I always like those county clashes, so Gabe should have hopefully a good game here tonight. All right, let's start our previews. The Red Raiders from Shannon, they're heading to Fulton. This is basically for the Region 2 4A championship against Itawamba AHS. You see Shannon, those rankings, number 10 in the state in that classification in 4A. You see what that offense has done. They've got a quarterback, Deshaun Clifton, that's done a nice job this year, and their defense doesn't allow very many points as well. You see they're averaging 32. In fact, both teams are averaging 32 per game, but the defense is only giving up 17 points a game for Shannon. Now, as for the Indians from Itawamba AHS, they got a lot of momentum, folks. They've won 4 in a row, so they've got Captain Mo on their side heading into this one, and their offense is anchored by a quarterback, Ashton Hoots. So look for a showdown tonight. Super Friday face-off in Fulton between Shannon and Itawamba AHS. Now on to 3A. The Chargers will take on the Choctaw County, taking on Winona. And this is a nice little matchup in their region as well, as this is Region 4 3A, that is, and both teams are ranked top 10 in the state in Class 3A, so this is going to be quite a clash. Choctaw County coming off that heartbreaker last week, 8-7 against Noxubee County, another team that's ranked among the top 10 in their classification. And they are led, Choctaw County that is, by quarterback K.J. Cork. You see he's thrown for almost 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns. And that offense is pretty potent there for Choctaw County. And as for Winona, top 10 in the state in this classification. They've got, as I mentioned, a lot of that momentum, winning 4 in a row, and they've got an offense that's led by quarterback Landon Crawford. So I'm looking for a nice one in this one between Choctaw County and Winona in a top 10 tussle, if you will. Speaking of top 10 tussles, how about in 6A, the defending state champs, Grenada, heading to Batesville to take on number 7 South Panola. This is really going to be a terrific matchup. You've got a offense from Grenada. Their quarterback is Braden Trusty, and they also have a Mississippi State commit at wide receiver in Zion Cotton, and they also have a stout defense, only giving up 12 points per game and averaging 33 on offense. You can see why they're having such a successful year again this year for Grenada. South Panola ranked in the top 10 in Class 6A, and they come in averaging a little over 28 points per game, and they will have a lot of leaning on their quarterback, Tristan Kohlenberg. So we should have quite a battle in Batesville between Grenada and South Panola. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll have the Wills winners version of Comeyer's Corner, and I'm thinking upset. But am I thinking Ole Miss with the upset? Am I thinking Mississippi State will pull off the upset on homecoming? Or both? Come on back here at 6 o'clock and you'll find out which upset or upsets that I'll be picking. I'll see you then.
Well, Will, I am very excited to hear which upsets you are forecasting because I need an Oklahoma win. One of my meteorology professors, big Sooner fan, and we have a test this week, so I need him to be in good spirits. But the Rebels go into Oklahoma to face the Sooners. It's going to be a rainy forecast, but thankfully it's a little bit different than the last time y'all saw it. More rain on the front end, starting to cool off and pretty much, well, not really cool off temperature-wise, but those rain chances starting to decrease a little bit more the further on into the game you go. So Oklahoma, not really the place you want to be for football-wise, but should be a good matchup out there in Norman. Here we go with Alabama going to face South Carolina. Should be a good matchup. It was a close one last year, starting off around 69 degrees, cooling off towards 64. If you want to watch a football game with great football weather, South Carolina will be the place to be this weekend. Should be a good matchup out there in Columbia, South Carolina as well. But here comes another big matchup. Mississippi State facing Texas. Hopefully we're planning the upset for that one. I'd love to see the Bulldogs get a win. Starting off around 77 degrees. Hopefully that rain trying to hold off just a little bit into the evening hours. You can start seeing those rain changes really start to spike just a little bit by the time we reach that final snap. But seeing cooler conditions by the time everyone is walking out of that stadium. So we have matchups galore for our SEC game day forecast. But coming back to North Mississippi, tracking out those conditions right now, see pretty much cloudy conditions. Don't believe that. That's probably some rain happening in the upper atmosphere, not really trying to evaporate by the time it makes it to the ground, also known as Virga clouds. So definitely expecting drier conditions all the way around here in North Mississippi, and that's going to be the trend as we continue into the evening hours. getting closer towards our 10 o'clock broadcast as well. So dry conditions pretty much all night long, which makes for a perfect football weather here across North Mississippi for our Friday night football action. But I'm going to actually move across because most of our action will start crossing from the Mississippi River in Arkansas. Still going to take a little while until we get there. It's still Saturday morning, still seeing dry conditions, little spurts of green, but radar trying to give us something to look forward to. Those rain chances still going to hold on off until Saturday evening. But low temperatures, a little bit warmer than how they have been earlier this week, pretty much low 50s across North Mississippi. So should be a good start to the day. Not too bad. Mild conditions. We're definitely warming on up as we continue into the weekend ahead. But coming back to Futurecast, we can still see those cloudy conditions around 6 o'clock in the morning for our Saturday. And then there's those rain chances starting to move a little bit closer towards Mississippi. Not really expecting much rain chances until post lunchtime. We can already see that warm front starting to get closer and closer towards North Mississippi. That's what's going to be bringing those rain chances as we continue into the afternoon and then evening ahead, starting to cross into the Delta in those afternoon hours. This is at 4 o'clock. Starting to see more of that heavy rainfall out there in Clarksdale, Shelby, and Cleveland, pushing across the Mississippi River. That's going to be the trend as we continue into the evening and eventually overnight hours. Those rain chances just going to continue ticking up even some more. Even by the 6 o'clock broadcast for our Saturday, should be talking about some rain happening here in North Mississippi. But high temperatures, pretty much upper 70s across North Mississippi. Still should be another lovely, mild day. Thankfully, those heat and seas keeping the same trend of keeping us at those actual temperatures, if not working to cool us off just a little bit so we can feel better than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. But kept talking about that pumpkin patch outlook. Right now, we're looking at a rainy forecast here. It's the last weekend of October. If anyone hasn't gone to the pumpkin patch yet, this would be the last weekend to do so. Temperature is 77 degrees for Saturday, but we see a noticeable dip, 65 for your Sunday. So if you like the temperature on Sunday, go out there, have some fun. Probably going to bump into some rain. Your best chance is probably Saturday on the earlier side. Try for a morning, lunchtime, maybe early afternoon hours. Once you head into the late afternoon, evening hours, we're going to start seeing that rain come back into the forecast and especially into Sunday. So let's check that out here with Futurecast. You can see those rain chances still starting to ramp on up as we continue into the evening hours for Saturday around 6 o'clock. That warm front still moving on north towards Arkansas, still avoiding our area, but returning to mainly dry conditions overnight. Sunday around midnight. It's not until that second wave, I'm going to start covering it up, starts to move in towards from Arkansas, crossing the Mississippi River into the Delta around 5 o'clock for your Sunday, seeing that just line of showers and storms starting to make its way over. Again, this isn't anything severe as of right now. Thankfully, not a repeat from what we had last weekend, just definitely some much needed rain, especially during our dry season here in North Mississippi. But that line is going to continue moving across North Mississippi. You can see pretty much just downpours all across North Mississippi. Our entire viewing area just seeing green, yellow, red. So definitely some much needed rain. Still, line of storms still maintaining strength as we continue into Sunday around 9:30 in the morning, pushing on out towards lunchtime in the afternoon hours around 3:30, and we start seeing a drier forecast. And I know this is what we'd like to see, but also if we continue into the afternoon and evening hours, it's almost like a second or third batch of moisture really starts making its way here towards North Mississippi, that wraparound moisture. That's because that low pressure system starting to make its way into North Mississippi, allowing for us to continue seeing some more moisture. There you go, that red L right there, it's cut off, but it'll start continuing off your screen. That low pressure system pretty much over North Mississippi by the time we get into those Sunday overnight hours into your Monday morning. So definitely going to see heavy rainfall, but of course we're going to get the latest model run later on this evening. So definitely want to tune in during the 10 o'clock broadcast as well so we can give you the very latest. But high temperatures, a noticeable drop from your Saturday into your Sunday, pretty much mid 60s across most of our viewing areas. So it will feel amazing outdoors. Just got to get through those soggy conditions as well, and those heat and seas still keeping us right there with those actual temperatures, not boosting us up either. But that 7-day forecast, we're still seeing rainy conditions this weekend. 30% for your Saturday, more on the back half, kind of evening hours into your Sunday. Almost an all-day event. Definitely going to see what that looks like once we get the latest model run. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting to see those rainy conditions stick around. It's not until Thursday and Friday where we really start seeing those drier conditions start coming into play. So definitely going to be a beautiful weekend here in North Mississippi as far as temperature wise, but those rain chances not really looking too good, especially if you have any outdoor plans as well. But here we go with the QR codes for our free app, Mississippi Live Weather. Definitely not expecting anything severe here in North Mississippi like last weekend, but definitely useful to have to let you know when rain's coming to your area. Definitely looking at some of the graphics we use as well to plan your weekends ahead here, but definitely going to be a good weekend as we continue into our Saturday and Sunday. But we still have our 6 and 10 o'clock broadcast tonight. Definitely going to be discussing that game of the week. Everything you need to know coming up at 6 and 10. And of course, Will Colmeyer giving us those upset picks as well during the 6 o'clock broadcast. So definitely going to be action-packed here at Mississippi Live, Weather in the Room to Room Weather Center. So cannot wait to see y'all at 6 and 10. Y'all go out, enjoy the rest of y'all's evening, and I'll see y'all later.
One in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.